Hey everyone, welcome back. Thank you, as always, for joining us on this magnificently hot Wednesday evening. From if you guys recall, I do live in Las Vegas, and it is hot as a mother out here. It has been hot all day. We did reach 110, I think 111 earlier, and that's from the north side. So it is a scorcher of a Wednesday for me here. I hope it is a lot cooler wherever you are at, wherever you guys listening, I should say. And you guys stay indoors, of course, because it is hot as a mother. But as always, we thank you for joining us. This is Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Fiend Migs, joined as always by my co-host Andrew. Don't get it twisted, Lapachet, and this is the Mad Boxing Show, or Mad Boxing for short. Thank you once more for stopping by on this Wednesday show. Well, it has been quite an eventful few days here, which is kind of funny. I've complained about how slow the boxing schedule is in August, but ironically, there's still plenty of stories happening outside of the ring, and of course, that is what we would like to go over here with you guys because plenty happened from the last time, from Sunday to now. Everything from quite an enormous deal the UFC got with Paramount Plus, which we are going to be going over. Granted, it's not strictly boxing related, but it may very well relate to boxing on the side note. So that is the primary, of course, story that we want to kick off the show with, because that's the main story of the week, alongside with one Tank Davis, whose charges are kind of in the air now, from what we heard recently / read. We're going to be talking about his current situation. A nice little public spat between Andre Ward and Anthony Joshua, which is pretty interesting. I've heard quite a few funny takes on this particular back and forth, so I definitely want to go over that. And unfortunately, we might not be able to get our hands on some top chrome boxing cards that we talked about earlier in the week. But we're going to be talking about those things and perhaps a few other things if we happen to fit them in the show before our time ends. But before we get into all of those details, because we do have plenty of them, Andrew, what's going on, dude? How is your Wednesday evening going?
Yeah, doing all right. I hit a little money today on the horses, so
Oh,
we'll be cruising into this weekend nice. I only bet $10 at a time, so don't think it's too much, Miguel. Nah.
I have to fill up the tank. I have to fill up the gas
Oh
tank.
yeah. No, we did all right. We did all right.
Yeah.
Um, you know what? We can bring the UFC news into the boxing side now. I'm sorry, they brought all the reporters over.
Mm.
UFC's promoting the fight like every day on my feed, on my Instagram, on my Facebook. It is
Mm.
so weird. And I gotta be honest with you, I'm monitoring the likes and that I don't see anything that's like, oh wow,
Mm.
1,000, 2,000 likes. It's not like the UFC world is blowing up for Canelo versus Crawford. So we'll
No.
see how this investment goes for Dana White and his partners Sela for TKO, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, but yes, I don't think it is. I don't think you can separate the two anymore. It's very much. It looks like the UFC is trying to get into boxing.
Oh yeah. And we've talked about it many years ago. I don't think there would have been any other time that they could do it other than now. The current situation, the kind of I don't know, the dire straits that boxing finds ourselves in when we have, and I say we again, I'm doing what you're doing now. When boxing has itself a situation where Top Rank is kind of in limbo and doesn't have a platform to go to, and then we have this crazy fucking news. Now, as I understand it, the UFC has kind of been not really content with how their deal with or dealing with ESPN has gone for a while. As I understand it, they're not very pleased with them. So it was obvious from a while back that they weren't going to stick around much longer with ESPN and were basically looking for a way out. So this is kind of a weird situation again, where like we have Top Rank who has yet to find a spot to land on, and now we have the UFC here with a place to go to before their previous deal is even over with. So let's go ahead
I
and kick
mean,
that off.
let's be honest though, Miguel. Like I
Yeah.
can respond to just that right there. They've been on many platforms, right?
UFC.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
UFC.
Yeah.
since the beginning of their existence,
Hmm.
they have yet found a 30-year home.
Hmm.
There's got to be a reason. We'll get into that.
Yeah, we most certainly will. Let me go ahead and hop back over here because I'm trying to figure out where the hell I left it. Here it is. All right, cool. All right, well, that is, damn it, why the hell? I swear, my camera, how the
I
hell's your
think you,
camera always
I
stay so?
think you need Windex, bro.
Oh, is that what it is?
You might, hey, ain't like our camera phones, dude. If it's dirty, the pictures won't be good. As soon as you clean it, boop,
Mm.
your camera works again. It's trying to focus on that dot that you have on it.
I know, right? I was trying to focus on that, whatever, like, I don't even think I've removed the damn plastic film on that fucking thing, so maybe I should be doing that.
You
God
might
damn
be,
it.
yeah, you might want to
Yeah,
wipe that thing.
Jesus Christ. It never occurred to me to wipe that shit until now. But yeah, let's go ahead and kick that off. So the UFC, according to this press release here, signs a 7-year, $7.7 billion U.S. broadcasting deal with Paramount Plus slash CBS, which averages out to about 1.1 billion per year. As I understand it, that is going to they're going to get less on the front end and then more on the back end. So it's going to start off by smaller increments, and then as the contract goes on, towards the tail end is where they're going to get the majority of it. At least that's what I understand. And this also means no more pay-per-view. Now, I'm not, when I first saw this, I was like, are they going to go the same route that the Zone went, right? Where they're like, oh yeah, no more pay-per-view is dead, yada yada. And then eventually they end up having fucking pay-per-views. I mean, I don't remember what was it? Usyk and fucking Dubois, those kind of things on pay-per-view. It's like, what the fuck? I thought we said we're gonna do no more pay-per-views, but it certainly seems as though that's the direction they're going. Because let me go ahead and read this. This from TKO. Let me see here. TKO's COO, talking about the UFC's new deal, says the pay-per-view model is a thing of the past. What's on pay-per-view anymore? Boxing, movies on direct TV. It's an outdated, antiquated model. So it's Paramount Plus to us. So it's Paramount to us, forgive the pun, where it's one-stop shop, especially for younger fans in flyover states. When they find out, wait, if I sign up for Paramount Plus for $12.99 a month, I'm going to automatically get UFC numbered events and the rest of the portfolio. That's the message we want to amplify. So according to them, no more pay-per-view. That includes the numbered ones, because usually there's like UFC fight nights that are kind of in between the pay-per-views, and the pay-per-views usually are numbered, UFC 326, 327, etc. And usually those are the pay-per-view ones. The same way that the WWE is now doing that with I think it's Peacock. They don't have pay-per-views anymore. They're called premium live events over there. Over here, there's another word that they decided to use. I forget what the term is, but anyway, point is, it's another word in place of pay-per-view. But even then, I've already heard Dana White saying like, "Hey, we might do a one-off pay-per-view here and there." It's like, dude, we just fucking said no more pay-per-view, and you're already going back on your word. So I'm not exactly pleased with that. But hey, you know what? Free fights. I'm not gonna say free, but if you have the subscription around $12.99, definitely a lot better. I mean, hell, it's cheaper than the 19 something from the Zone, and even then, sometimes you still have to pay the pay-per-view, because even though Turkey himself has said no more pay-per-view, we're still getting some pay-per-views on DAZN, Ring Magazine, Riyadh Season, etc., etc. But so far, that is the major news they're signing. There's been a lot of for the UFC, but piss poor for the fighters. The fighters aren't going to see a penny of it, really. A lot of the fighters who were getting like pay-per-view points, they're out of the picture. So as far as the pay-per-view points go, so I don't know as of right now how that's going to be made up, if the UFC intends to make it up to any degree.
You walk out.
Yeah, that's kind of seems like, well, if that, here's the thing, there's been a point in time in the most recent past where fighters have had the opportunity to speak up, to try to unionize to some degree, and then have. So unfortunately, that kind of seems like they kind of shot themselves in the foot now here with this big deal, because they're probably not going to see an extra penny. Dana White has said that they're going to get a pay bump, but compared to how much they're going to get, the UFC, I'm saying, to how much is going to go to the fighters is pretty pathetic, if you ask me. But anyway, when you read this, Andrew, what was your first impression? Like, what the fuck? Where did this come from? What did you think about it when you first read it?
Pay-per-view's really dead. You know, if the UFC is getting out of it, I thought this was the biggest sport, combat sport in America. Whatever they put out sells. You know, they don't need any help, even though 7-point-something billion is a big number, right?
It's a huge number, yes.
Well, you got to remember they just gave a cartoon $1-point-something billion too, right?
Paramount.
Paramount just gave South Park
okay.
That's billion.
Right. That's right.
They also bought a soccer league, and they also are purchasing TKO. It seems like they're trying to make a sports side. The UFC, I guess, will be the front man of that side, but you got soccer now, you have boxing, and you have UFC. So we will see what happens with it. It's a good number, but we've seen these numbers before with the UFC. They just sold for $4 billion, you know, not too long ago, and then they sold for another few billion not too long before that. And yet we were hearing financial issues were coming out of the company. I get why Paramount did it. They're getting the whole caboodle, right? I don't know what Dana White's talking about, but I'm sure 7.7 billion, you're going to have some bosses sitting your ass at the table going, so what is it you think you're going to take from us? Last time I checked, I own your fucking company right now at 7.7 billion. We took you out of debt and gave you some, right? So he might need that sit down, right? He might forget that he is no longer even number 2 on the ladder. I don't even know where Dana White's on the ladder anymore because you know we have a board. 7.7 billion brings a board, Miguel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sure it does.
He might be fetching water for those guys.
Right.
So,
so here's the thing. This is what I understand. It's their TV deal, their TV rights. So,
well, that's all there is. I mean, listen, no one's buying shirts, bro. No,
I know, but I'm saying like not, as I understand it, not the UFC being purchased, but rather.
Oh, it doesn't matter. That's all they are is a TV fighting thing, though. I mean, the brand, you're talking about the brand, the UFC brand. You can't. What are you going to sell? A mouthpiece? They have the most important thing, bro. That's their TV right.
TV deal.
And that 7-point-something billion, when your rumors were you were in debt, I don't think there's too much they're going to be holding back from them guys. So I called Dana. I think you're okay. I think I called Dana White bullshit on that one. He's just trying to act like they're still the boss. Why it's less on the front end and heavier on the back end, you got to prove yourself, obviously, right? Obviously, someone went in there with a good mouthpiece, sort of like what I do for boxing every day on the Netflix situation is give us a chance and we will show the world what we can do, right? And we sort of have. Mike Tyson did at 58 years old, 58 years of age, brought in 46 million homes, right? I want to tell you something. Paramount has a maximum capacity of 77 million homes. Tyson would have done pretty good in that range, right? Or, I'll say Jake Paul, but we all know it was Mike because Mike's done it before. He did it for Fox too. He brought in 40-something million homes when he was in his 30s. So
Mathis Jr., I remember that shit.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So it's a good number, but they're protecting their investment. You got to believe if they're not living up to the $7 billion, they're going to get cut just like the last few companies cut them before their contract run out. You guys got to remember, they haven't found a home. It's kind of weird. For being so popular, they've been bouncing around. Spike, Fox, pay-per-view, their own website at one point. They've been trying hella different things. Now, they got them this deal.
I think that was the thing because before, like when they first got on Spike, they were still barely coming up. Like they had started going like that Ultimate Fighter show and everything. So the deal was, or the plan was always to get to the next step. So when they got to Fox, I thought they'd be there for a long ass time. For whatever reason, they weren't. Then they got to ESPN. I was like, oh shit, all right, they're on the ESPN. I figured it was going to be a long ass deal. For whatever reason, it hasn't been. Even this one itself, 7 years, right? So who knows? They won't maybe make it out the next decade, or maybe it will, maybe it won't. It sort of depends how things happen. At least the latter half of the deal. But I thought they would have been a lot longer with Fox. I thought it would have been an ESPN or one of those guys.
And that's a good point that you bring up about ESPN. When you look at the release statement of ESPN to boxing, they were kind of moving in the direction of how did they state it? Like the pro sports, the main.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what does that say about the UFC?
Yeah.
So, those companies are making billions of dollars too. We all know that, right? They're TV right deals. So, we're going to see how it plays out. It's great for the fight fans. I think it takes a little bit of what is it? The excitement of what Top Rank. We know Top Rank ain't getting 7.7 billion, so now that's going to just look bad. Whatever they come out with. Yeah. We gave them 500 million. Be like, fuck, it's 500 million. We would be happy, but to 7 billion, you're like, nah.
Yeah, but that's like that's changed.
It's not the same. Now, Miguel, I got to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
The UFC fighters would be stupid not to walk out on the first day that they walk into Paramount. As a whole, some of you are going to starve. It's time to call your families. It's time to call your friends. And it's time to make the rich guys starve a little to get a bigger portion of the pie when they do cut it open. You got to walk. This is the problem about monopolizing an industry, is if you do not play to the workers and they fucking leave. How did they old saying, you're up shit creek without a paddle? That would be the UFC right now. Could you imagine them trying to get fight number 1 off with no fighters and Paramount looking at them like, what the fuck is going on? And you got the internet. You can make the thing go viral so fast. I don't want to commit suicide, you guys. If you guys find me.
Yeah, you're invited. Like, Andrew, what the hell?
Did I do that disclaimer?
Yeah. It's like, I have no suicidal thoughts. Okay, guys. In case it happens to me.
I hate thinking about these things, but is it true? They own every good fighter, right?
Primarily, yes. I don't know if because there's always exceptions. There's always exceptions elsewhere. They get the majority of them. Is my point.
You're gonna tell me that if every fighter in the UFC band together, right, and walked and said, until we get a fair deal, we ain't coming back. Fuck it, I'm gonna starve. That they could go to the PFL. And people would
not that many. Not that many. Not that many. That's my point. There's always exceptions. One here, one there, one here, one there. So to say like to fill, because they got, I think I want to say 700 or something stupid like that, like fighters on their roster or something like that. I want to say it might be a little bit off, but I could have sworn I heard that shit recently. I was like, what the fuck? The last I remember it was 4 something. Now it's up to like 7. But anyway,
what I will say to that is the NFL has. What is it, 54 men on their roster? Only 22 of them are fucking good. They don't give a shit about
yeah, definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
You see, hey, you know what? You want to know, I have probably said this many times, but it is the clearest definition of how far the skill level is between starter and backup. There was one time I was watching an NFL football game, Miguel. Both linebackers had broken hands. Both of them. They both started that game with Cass. And I told everyone, I said, look at this bullshit right here. Could you imagine being the 2 backup guys and being like, these motherfuckers with 2 hands on the field, 2 working hands are better than 4?
They're like, our plan didn't work. I tried fucking stepping on his foot, on someone's hand. It didn't work out. I tried smashing his hand on the door.
Yeah, freaking insane, though. But that's the difference, right? Have you ever seen the backup come in, the whole crowd go, well, we fucking suck. Wait, that's it. Our season's over. One guy leaves the field. That's what the UFC. You tell me 700, 650 of them are. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They're not
definitely. No. Yeah, they're not. But that's the thing. I think that's why the majority of them aren't gonna do that. They're not gonna, because that's how, like, the discrepancy is with how
Oh,
much they get
their
money up
fault.
here on top. If they all, I mean, obviously there's strength in numbers. If they all banded together, that's in the story. But I've heard of them attempting to do this before, or having the opportunity to at least fight for that, for some sort of unionization, and they didn't go that route. So that's kind of the part, or maybe they weren't allowed to. I don't know how that would work, but all I know is they had the opportunity to do it before, and they didn't. Everything seemed to be, according to them, a-okay. Whatever locker room money they got or something to kind of quelch that, worked apparently. But yeah, I don't know if they would all be willing to do that. Because I know that the big guys, well, here's the thing. The way I understand it, the way I've heard it, it's going to even out the money throughout the card, I guess. But again, there are still going to be the superstars that are going to get the bigger fucking paydays. But even then, I don't know how much, compared to how much they're getting. It's like, okay, we're going to give you $1 raise. We made $18 million. We're going to give you $1 raise. Oh shit, we got $1 raise. Like, that's what it's going to look like. At least that's what I think. They're going to get so much more money, and so little of it is going to go down to the fighters.
Yeah, that's too bad. This isn't there. Right now, this is the perfect time to put up the stand, because
Yes.
the pressure is very much on the UFC big heads to get these fights off now. It's always been there, but the 7.7 fresh signing is just adding a little bit more pressure. You know what I mean? Like, you only got one first impression. Walk out.
Yeah. No, yeah. And here's the thing. Like, I like. I've heard it from Turkey as well, right? The whole no pay-per-view thing, right? That's going to die, or the $20 pay-per-view, whatever. And going back and forth on this shit. I've already heard, what's his name, Dana White. Here's a quote from his: "A fight will pop up that I never saw coming. A star will pop out of somewhere. Anything is possible. And you could do a one-off pay-per-view. I'm going to do like a one pay-per-view this Saturday or something like that, right?" So he's already throwing that shit in there, which I get it. That's kind of, at least from the very beginning, the UFC has been strictly pay-per-view. There was a point where they were on specifically on Dish or Direct TV pay-per-view for a hot minute, and they've kind of always been really on pay-per-view only until they started getting the Spike TV deals and Fuel TV and Fox and everything, where they are more readily available on regular TV. But it was primarily pay-per-view. There would be a pay-per-view every 3 months or something like that I remember. So hopefully this is legit and there aren't any pay-per-views. I mean, I'm down to pay $12.99 to get all the fucking cards from a fan's perspective. Fantastic. I don't have to, stream them somewhere else, right? VIP.com. I don't have to do all that shit, right? I can just pay for that subscription, probably get rid of my ESPN subscription, probably just keep these two, right? I guess it sort of depends where Top Rank will land and whether or not I get another damn subscription. But according to this, no more pay-per-views, right? At least that it is initially, and this won't start until 2026. So we still have regular pay-per-views from now until the end of the year, of course, and usually the November pay-per-view, I'm not sure if I've checked recently, but is normally in Madison Square Garden. Whether or not they're going to continue with that, I don't know, but it's a whole lot of money for for them to get. I don't know. I mean, that puts them back in the green, I assume, right? Because they were in debt, right? From what we understand, they had to have put them back in the green. They has to, can't not. So good for them. I don't know about great for the fighters, great for fans. I mean, I'll watch. I'm going to tune in to watch, right? I don't have a problem tuning in, especially if there's no pay-per-view. But yeah, what news, right?
And
coming out of nowhere, huh?
Can I also say that it proves me right every time I told you guys that they had the money to do the fight. Hey, Miguel. Hey, UFC guys. You got $7 billion now. Can we do the fight between the heavyweight champ?
Dude.
No.
Let me tell you this, right? You've heard that John Jones retired. I'm assuming you've heard this, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, he bailed. He's gone, right? Supposedly, right? He's gone. He was supposed to fight against what was at the time the interim heavyweight champion, Tom Aspinall, the UFC, right? So basically, he was, for a minute, he's like, I've been wanting, he even said it himself, Deontay Wilder money, he called it back in the day. Asked for a lump sum, he wanted a $30 million payday to fight Tom Aspinall. And the UFC were not willing to give him that fucking money. They had it. They went and they got the fucking Saudis and were like, yeah, let's see if we can do it. Saudis were willing to fork up the cash, and he goes, No, never mind. I don't want it. So he
Damn.
actually asked for the money. He got it, right? And initially he said yes, actually, and then 3 days later, 4 days later, it's like, nah, fuck it. So it's a nasty duck. I mean, the biggest hard duck ever. But it kind of sort of shows. The UFC has the money. They didn't have to go ask from the fucking the Saudis, but the Saudis were waiting to make it, and Riyadh season or whoever the fuck was willing to fork up the cash to make it happen. But it's not like the UFC doesn't have the fucking money. That this is the ongoing gripe that we have with the UFC is they have the money, is they're stingy with it pretty much.
I have never seen their ticket sales be at that level. And I don't think that John Jones versus this Aspinall guy or whoever you just said is the fight that would have sold $20,000 front row seats.
No, I wouldn't.
And those are the type of fights that generate those type of payouts. And that's the problem with Dana White, in my opinion. Dana White coming out and saying that there's going to be a pay-per-view here and there. There hasn't been a pay-per-view that generated this type of money that they're seeing right now. So why would you shit your bed to do what? 600,000 pay-per-view buys?
Yeah.
Come on. I don't believe it. I think Paramount's going to make him eat his words on that one. I don't see anything leaving Paramount when they have literally gave them a lifeline and some. Yeah. A generational lifeline if done correctly, right? Because all the UFC needs to do is, one, they need to build stories. I don't think there's enough story building in the UFC and their matchmaking skills. The wins and losses just bounce around way too much on these fighters. You hear some guy is going to be great, and the next 2 years later he has 4 losses. His face is all different, scarred up now. It's really weird. They got to get better at the matchmaking, I think, to build interest with the fans. I got to tell you, everyone already knows about it. There's not a new guy out there who's like, man, I've never seen this UFC thing, but now that it's on Paramount, can't wait to check it out. They've all seen it, right? We've all seen the game. So I think they need to do a little bit better on the matchmaking and maybe some more stories to try to get interest to build with fighters, It's something that I think Canelo and Crawford is missing too, and I'm not trying to bounce around, but in their build-up shows, way too much just training and no connecting. So I used to like when they would do a little bit more of the connecting with the fighters, so then you had something to root for, obviously, too.
That makes sense on the UFC side, so they can kind of build, I guess, fighters. Don't we already know Crawford and Canelo? Like, does there need to be any further like connecting happen? We already know who these guys are. We have a general idea of their history. I mean, their own history. I meant to say it would make sense for the UFC because they're kind of in desperate need of a star. I don't think we need that with Canelo Crawford, do we?
Maybe with Canelo, not with Crawford at all. Crawford hasn't been on that many 24/7s. I think they could have went a little deeper into his childhood, maybe things he liked growing up, just stories, just something that makes you connect with the fighter, sort of like what the 24/7 used to be, right? So yeah, no, it's just a little bit more than here's me jump roping, here's me hitting mitts. Pathetically, I'm not even showing you the good stuff, right? Just showing you the weak ass workouts. So yeah, UFC should do the same. Now that they have Paramount, they could build these little stories. I'm hoping Netflix gets into the 24/7 like production of and not just Canelo and Crawford, but all the fights that they're going to put on. So both platforms have a real shot here if they can connect with the fans. Sort of take the HBO model and run with it, man. Seriously, it worked for 30 plus years. Something that right now Rehab hasn't done, DAZN hasn't done, and they're both young. But you hear me, you know what I'm saying, right? They can make it last a little longer. Because I gotta say, DAZN was kind of throwing a lifeline too, not too long ago. Because they look like they did a bunch of bad investments when you look at the Triple G signing, the AJ signing, and the Canelo signing. All of those were a bust for them. So take the HBO model.
Funny you mention that because I actually caught a couple of those Bud Crawford episodes, and yeah, I don't know, man. He kind of comes across like a bully sometimes, dude. Like he's just over here trying to win at fucking like Chinese checkers and shit. It's like, dude, chillax, fool, fuck. Like, I get you have to be in this mentality, man, but damn, take it easy. I was
Yeah.
catching a couple of those, and yeah, I mean, I noticed that too. I was just like, because I mean, granted, you kind of like previewed me to it, so I kind of already like had an idea of it. But when I started watching, I'm like, man, this guy doesn't stop. He doesn't turn that off, man. What the fuck? But yeah, same thing with those. It's like even that, like it kind of it doesn't really tell a story per se. It just kind of follows them around, right? It's just kind of like reality TV. Really, it's all it is. You know, they go into the hot tub, they do this and this and that. They go fucking celebrate or whatever, and then it follows them to some of the press conferences, etc. But it's like, all right, well, what story are you telling here? You're just basically documenting their everyday life as if they're on fucking Twitter. Like, I'm on the fucking toilet now. It's like, all right, well, does that really, do you really need that? I would love to hear more about Crawford or Canelo or anybody for that matter. I know that was a Crawford channel, but anyway, yes, I definitely would love the UFC. I'm trying to get out of the way of this damn light that's peeking through my curtains here. But anyway, I would love to hear that or see that on the UFC side, because like I said, they're kind of in desperate need of a superstar right now, and they're trying with some people, and that's not to say that they're not trying. They most certainly are, but yeah, it happens. They're like, this guy's the next thing, and then he loses. You're like, oh shit, I guess he's not the next thing. At least not yet. So, but damn, what do you want? One monumental deal. It comes at a weird time. Like I said earlier, it's at a point where shit, we're kind of Top Rank is kind of struggling to find a spot, and we have one less. And mind you, Top Rank is, or maybe was, or we say was, one of the top American promotions. I don't know if I can say is still, because it seems like that the talent that they're developing ends up going somewhere else at some point when they want the bigger paydays, and they just can't seem to hang on to those guys for whatever the fuck reason. But them, Top Rank has been around for the longest fucking time, and we expect them to land on some platform here at some point. But it's disheartening when we see these kind of deals, right? Clearly, there's a market for it. They got to land somewhere. I don't know who's willing to give them X amount of dollars, however much. Do you remember what their ESPN deal was? Like how much it was?
No, I don't. But I got to tell you, it's not the same industry. You got to remember, the UFC has monopolized the MMA world.
Yeah.
They can go nowhere else. In the Top Rank, guys leave in like 5 years, 7 years. They're out of there. They start, I want to make my own promotional company. I want to do my own pay-per-views, right? So it's not the same. We have to remember that the HBO model did not sign Top Rank. They did not sign Golden Boy.
Right.
These guys brought fights to the platform. They would purchase the fights, right? The casinos, the network would all get together. They'd give them a price for the fight. That's how these fights got made.
They had a budget every year.
Yeah, the HBO did for boxing, right? Not for just Top Rank or Golden Boy or this. So I think for the time being, until Top Rank wants to settle down, why can't they run it this way, where they're bringing a whole fight card to Rehad or to Netflix, and Netflix says, you know what? Those are interesting fighters. Yeah, we'll do it. Here's $2 million, $5 million, because I know there won't be no big fights. They're all young guns that they have, and then they'll show the fight and hopefully get views for it. One thing good about the Top Rank guys is a lot of them have million views from ESPN. I didn't know that. You know what I mean? They did very good viewerships on some of those fights. So they have that ammo going into these different platforms and saying, we already have good views on streaming apps, ESPN Plus. And the last thing is Abdullah Mason is fighting on a Rehad card. Is it this weekend? Might even be this.
Oh, you mean like the
Rehad,
Dillian White and that card?
That card, or maybe one that they just announced. But I seen Abdullah Mason, and I was like, all right, well, there's a Top Rank guy fighting somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? So I think Bob still has that in his favor, that His Excellency Turkey Ali Sheik. I want to just call him Turkey Ali Sheik. I don't even the Excellency.
Just call him Turkey. Fucking
Turkey. Yeah. When I'm over there, I'll
2 syllables.
When he flies us in, that's when I'll say, hey, thank you, Your Excellency.
Yes. You know what? When I'm reading articles and I see the H and the E, which stands for His Excellency, I didn't realize that. I was like, he? Why do they keep calling him he? Like, yes, like this guy doing pronouns now. What the fuck? Like, really? This guy's like that? Come on now. I didn't realize that's what it meant. But yes, we can just call him Turkey for the sake of the show.
Yeah, Turkey. There you go. That's like, hey, that's like the movie. What was that with Brad Pitt? Hey, Turkey. That's the guy's name, right? The mob boss.
Oh, which?
Or
Oh,
no,
damn it.
he keeps calling someone Turkey in that movie. That's what I think of every time you say we'll call him Turkey.
Yeah.
That's a good one. What was that one called when he's a gypsy? Brad Pitt's a gypsy.
Um.
I
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
believe I know Willie's screaming at the thing right now.
yeah. I don't remember the name. I know exactly what we were talking about,
I
but
know.
the title is escaping me right now. Yeah.
I'll think of it by the end of the show. That's when you find out pigs eat a human body in so many days or so. Remember? He's like,
Yeah, I remember
yeah.
that. It's a classic.
If you ever see a pig farm, like, uh-oh. But anyways, I get off track. Sorry, you guys. So I think Top Rank has some time. And I think they have enough platforms right now that are actually in pretty good spots. I think Netflix is in a real good place with boxing. They've put on 2 shows now. Is it just 2 or have they done 3?
Let me see. They did Tyson. Oh yeah, that's right. They did both Katie Taylor. I think they did. They did 2 and 3, right? Like Katie Taylor and Serrano 2.
No, that
and
was
3?
on Tyson. Remember,
Oh,
that was
shit.
on Tyson. They did like 20 million that night. Remember, like the number was huge for the undercard for Tyson Paul, and then it jumps up tremendously for the main event. But I believe the girls even did good on the undercard of that fight. Then they come back on their own main card and do 6 million.
So that one, their first fight was on that undercard, or their second
I
fight?
believe so. The second one, yeah, the first one is wild.
Because I'm trying to remember, I remember them being on there twice. Because when you watch the countdown to their third fight, they aired bits and pieces of their second one, I think it was. So I know at least 2 of them were on there, not on the undercard of a Jake Paul card, but rather their own main event, if I remember correctly. But we're talking about a couple of years now. But yeah, they've done it at least 3 times, I want to say now, where Netflix, I mean, Tyson Paul, and then I think 2 Serrano and Katie Taylor fights, I believe.
Yes, it was on Netflix. The highlights the thumbnail shows Netflix behind Taylor, Katie too. So I'm guessing it was. I believe it was on the undercard, bro, of Tyson and Paul. I think is where part 2 went down, and they did tremendous numbers. The whole undercard did. So I think Netflix is happy. They got a huge fight coming up with Crawford and Canelo. We got to really promote that one, man. We need big numbers. Look, you guys don't understand. Boxing is on a platform that had, what was it, 300 plus?
Yeah, something crazy like that. Million
views, man. That we're in the big boys. Say, Miguel, did you think we'd be there in 2025? I know 7.7 billion is a lot of money. I get it.
Yeah.
But 77 million subscribers to 300 million is a pretty big difference.
Sure.
I thank you, Jake Paul.
Even ESPN to Paramount is a humongous number. ESPN's got a gazillion fucking people. So they're leaving a spot that had a fuck ton of subscribers in ESPN.
Yeah. So we're in a good place. Then with obviously Turkey over there investing in DAZN, bringing some great cards to the box. For us diehards, we know all these cards. It's really good to see where boxing is right now on those 2 platforms. And then we have TKO on. Well, it looks, they haven't finalized, but it looks like TKO will be on Paramount as well. So for whatever they bring, I mean, hey, Fernando Vargas Jr. is fighting for TKO right now, right?
Yeah, he's going to be the co-main event, or at least on the undercard against that Walsh guy that we're trying to build on the fight pass, the UFC fight pass. The one boxer that I told you that I thought they were going to go with, like Zuffa Boxing or TKO, Callum Walsh, I think his first name, last name is Walsh. I forget his first name, but that dude, he's fighting Vargas Jr. So they're already putting him on a TKO card or a TKO undercard, pretty much.
It'll be interesting to see if he is signed in that pay scale, or are they still working these guys? Because to be honest with you, I never thought Fernando Vargas Sr. would allow his son to be capped like that.
Well,
right?
I don't know if he's ever had that amount of money. Maybe Emiliano has because of his time on with ESPN and Top Rank, but I don't think Junior's ever been on that big of a platform. So maybe the escape pay scale fits him because he hasn't gotten those humongous paydays, but he is going to cap if he stays there. Yeah.
If he signed a contract that puts him there for 3 years, he capped himself.
Mm.
Because those young men are on the edge of being very successful. In boxing, when it rains, it pours, right? You just need to get there. He has a brother on a head start who looks like he's going to get there. And the other two are undefeated. They're all young, good-looking guys, Mexicans, Chicanos. We all know that's a good a good color to have in this sport, right? Make decent money when you come in browner.
Mm-hmm.
So, and really, probably white too. We haven't seen. Kelly Pavlik almost showed us. He almost. You didn't remember that? Kelly Pavlik was about to sign like a $40 million CBS deal before the Bernard Hopkins fight.
Oh, no shit. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was going to fight on free television. They had it all worked out. That's why Bob Arum didn't want that fight, bro. Bob Arum told them guys not to fight Hopkins, and they refused and went with it, and Hopkins destroyed him. He turns into an alcoholic. And
Mm-hmm.
yep. Yeah,
that was the beginning because he moved back down, lost to Sergio Martinez, and that was it. Basically, that was the ghost.
Yeah, there was a I believe it was CBS had a 3 or 4 fight deal for a lot of freaking money. They're gonna bring him back. Youngstown, Ohio, on free television. So you can make money anywhere. But yeah, we know that I think Vargas caps himself if he signed a lengthy deal. Like I just said about Top Rank, boxing's a thing that the landscape changes every 3 to 4 years. You can't really lock down a fighter that long anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if Vargas Jr. did lock himself down to one of the UFC contracts, probably going to see him bitching here in about 3 years.
Yeah, and you're right. I am kind of surprised that they're gonna. Maybe it's just a short-term thing. Maybe it's just to get them to that point. Hopefully, at least because we've kind of talked about it, right? Dana isn't really in TKO. They're not really fucking promoting this fight. It's just kind of like, well, we'll deal with the undercard, at least not the main event. So this is part of the undercard of the co-main event. So maybe they are involved in that. Maybe they're not. But I highly doubt that that Fernando Senior would fall into that. I don't think he would do that. I would have to assume this was a short-term deal, maybe even just a one-fight deal, if that was even an option. I don't know. But definitely crazy. There's one more added caveat to this, which is kind of a uniqueness. Earlier this month, July 7th of 2024, Paramount Global, the parent company, they merged with another company called Skydance Media, and that's kind of why they're kind of powerful. Sometimes mergers go to shit, so sometimes they do well. One of the reasons I tell these stories all the time, back in the 90s when wrestling was hot shit, one of the promotions, one of the major ones called WCW, was owned by media conglomerate Ted Turner, who at that time, his company, Turner Broadcasting, merged with AOL Time Warner, and that was a complete clusterfuck of a merger, so much so that basically they booted Ted Turner out, and out went wrestling with it. So sometimes it can blow up in their face. I'm not saying it's going to happen here, but it has happened. It's kind of like when stuff like this happens shortly after a merger, it kind of makes you raise your eyebrows. What I'm saying.
Did you hear about how they invested almost their whole bank account into this signing?
Who?
Paramount and Skydance or whatever. Yeah, like almost the whole company. They're worth $9 billion. They put 7.7 into one.
Mm-hmm. That's quite the gamble, huh? That's quite the
and South Park, bro. I can't believe South Park. I didn't even know that was still popular, dude. Like seriously, I didn't know people were. It never. I'm not gonna say it never goes viral, but I just didn't see that many. Did you see South Park? You know what I didn't like about South Park, Miguel? I thought the writing got really lazy. Once they started just following like the news and let's just make a skit about talking shit about the president, talking shit about the war, talking shit about immigration. Like they got real lazy on the writing. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm not gonna say I lost interest because it's not like I was a diehard when it first came out. Obviously, when I was young, yes, South Park. Me and my brother would stay up at night and watch that thing all day. But as I got older, I mean, the jokes are repetitive, right? The same jokes. You know, Cam, how many times can he fucking die, right? Shit like this.
Right. Yeah.
And then, like I said, to me, I thought they got real lazy on they were just following basically every nowadays live event news and then making a joke out of it and putting it on there. So see, they got $1 billion. It's just crazy. That's a lot of money. Good shit.
I think it always seems like once the shock factor goes away, like at the time it was refreshing and you're like, holy crap, right? Like if you watch some of Chappelle's earlier seasons, well, there's not that many, but it's the episodes, it's like, oh shit, I can't believe you said that kind of thing, right? But then once that wears off, you're like, all right, well, what else you got? I kind of think like South Park kind of fell into that. At the very beginning, some of the shows were pretty, pushing the envelope, but then you do that so much, it's like, all right, well, what else you got? Like, yeah, it was shocking. The shock factor was there at the very beginning, and that brought in a lot of audience, a bit wider audience. But then when that wears off, we're like, well, are you guys still funny? At least, the episode's still good. But yeah, once they start going to like whatever current event is going on, gun control this, yeah, it's like, all right, really, we're gonna go that direction.
Right.
But yeah, they got themselves a cool billion with a B. I'd like to have a little bit of that. All right. Well, was there anything else you wanted to add to that before we move on to the next topic? Because that was kind of the story of the week, I guess, because of how big it was, all the damn money.
No.
You're like, no, fuck them. They're gone again. No. All right. Well, this is another one. After we just got done talking about him on Topps Cards Chrome series, Gervonta Tank Davis's domestic violence case has been officially dropped. That certainly was quite the shocker. And I say that with as much sarcasm as possible because literally last week, Sunday, Andrew, you told us, yeah, these women who go to, go to the authorities to try to, start off the press charges, they know that if their guy isn't fighting, they're not going to get money. So it's like, yeah, let's just back off a little bit. Go ahead, fight Lamont Roach, whatever, and go fuck, get some money, and then send it over here. But here is the according to All the Smoke Boxing, which is Andre Ward's and someone else's, I forget who else. Miami/Dade County court officials told TMZ Sports that domestic violence charges against Gervonta Tank Davis were dismissed. This almost 2 months after he was detained for allegedly assaulting the mother of his children. So they have to add in the allegedly there. We can kind of bank almost that it probably did happen, but nonetheless, he's going to be clear here, right? He's maybe just in time for a December fight with Manny Pacquiao. Who the fuck knows? But apparently, this gets released here. So. Does that mean that he's going to go on the Topps card, on the Topps Chrome card? I don't know if that's going to be next, but what do you think about this, Andrew? As soon as you read this, you're like, hey, sounds about right.
I wonder how much he had to pay her to get rid of the video. That had to be in the contract, the hush contract, right? I need that video back. So no, hopefully she got paid out for this. DA's I heard not picking up charges. I read that too. So he's gonna be, it just goes away. The top situation, they should include him in the second series that's made. Obviously, it's sold out so fast. Yeah, I'm sure they're printing them right now as we speak. And I also was told by someone from Topps that it was our show that they think took them over the top on sales. So we got congratulated for that, Miguel.
Yeah. Trying to say everybody watching. Yeah. It's like, what? They nobody had heard it yet, right? Ring Magazine hadn't released it. Like, what the fuck? We gotta go. So,
no, but they sold out so good. Yeah, there should be a second series coming soon, and why not put them in it? Look, their charges are dropped. I haven't seen the video. You didn't see the video, so did it really happen? Let's just forget about it.
How much you want to bet that video is going to resurface or surface, I should say, at some point in the future? Maybe not in the next, 2-3 years per se, but
if he had good lawyers, it's no longer around. If he had good lawyers, because they're going to buy that from her, and he's going to pay a hefty price to get that too. It's not cheap.
If she lies and like gives them a copy, but she actually has a copy, because she go to jail for that.
She'll get sued. No, but she'd be she would get sued probably for the whatever $2 million he gives her plus some.
Well, that certainly clears the path for some sort of potential fight later on, right? It obviously doesn't look like it's going to be Lamont Roach, right? We talked about that before already. Even Lamont himself says, "I'm over this. I'm going to move on at this point." But that does leave the opportunity open for, you know, a fight with Manny Pacquiao, which supposedly was Tank was named as one of the potential opponents, or one of the names being thrown around. How serious it got or how close they got to actually like hitting them up about it, we don't know, of course, but it's one of the names being tossed around. But yeah, it looks like he's going to be cleared now. Again, he has had issues with this before, so it's not like the stigma is just going to go away, right? It's like it's one of those, I don't know, OJ type things. It's like, well, I got away with it, but we all know he did it, right? It's kind of one of those circumstances. Like we can say, all right, he was acquitted, or you know, everything was dropped because for whatever the fuck reason, because money, right? But we know that's gonna follow him around, right?
Do you think Floyd is sitting there when he read it? Go, I told him, hit him in the back of the head. Works every time. After he struck her, right? I believe that's
is that what it was? Oh,
yeah. Floyd gives good fight instructions, bro, in and out of the ring.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. Don't be a jerky, guys.
No, he said, wait until you're clinching, then throw. Okay. No, but yeah, I'm sure a little text here like, hey, buddy, make sure to, you know, go for the liver. Give him the 10 count. But that does lead on to the second part of the story, which was apparently these Topps cards have been sold out. No more than, let me go back to that particular post that I had sent you about it, but we talked about it on Sunday, right? Because literally going to be like the next, oh shit, I forgot to turn on the volume on this thing. Literally the next day, which I believe was the 12th, was today. Today's Wednesday. It might have been the 11th, but it was going to be released within a day after, right, of us talking about it on the show, which I'm sure contributed to being sold out. But according to Supreme Boxing on Instagram here, says, did you get yours? Topps boxing cards sold out within 1 minute of being released. Holy hell. I did not think there was this much of a fucking demand for cards like this. I legitimately thought, you know what, we're going to have a couple of hours, you know, whatever. Yeah, maybe there's a certain number of them. They will eventually sell out. But eventually, I thought, I don't know, a week or so, whatever, I'd have enough time to go and purchase myself. No. And here's the thing, like, again, I when you told me about your collection, right? And was it football? I think specifically, right? And I thought, oh, you know, this is not a bad idea. Like, fuck yeah, let's do it. Like, I don't collect cards, but this is boxing, and this is kind of, you know, right down my alley. So of course I'm gonna. I thought, yeah, I'll have time. I'm sure. You know, I wasn't gonna do what most people do, and it seems like these people did it, and like, you know, set their alarm for 12 midnight or whatever, and then place their order. But I did put my email on the notification list, so in case it gets restocked or the series 2 comes out or whatever, I'll get some sort of heads up or something, I assume. But yeah, because that was going to be part of my second question to you is, did you get some, Andrew? I guess it looks like nobody got some, but yeah, looks like it sold out pretty quick.
I wonder how many of those actually hit the public and they weren't just gobbled up by the private dealers right off the top. All the guys that are in good with Topps, you know, Topps has been a trading card, probably the #1 trading card since trading cards have been in existence. I'm sure their customer list is pretty freaking long, right?
What are any brands? Do you know any of them? Because I don't. I mean, again, I wasn't into cards, but
Fleer, is it?
Oh, that's right. That's
right. Yeah, there's that one. I know a few of them, darn it, but yeah, there's other ones. Oh man, think of another one. I guess I only know the baseball ones, but yeah, no, there's other card deals, but Topps has always been #1. When you look at the old cards that go for millions of dollars, they're usually the Topps. That's it. Because I think they are #1. I'm probably being stupid. Someone's yelling at the computer right now.
Now, most likely. I mean, the name says it all. They are at the top, right? So they're Topps. Yeah. I'm sure they named it that for that exact reason. But yeah, do you really think so? It's like you think maybe private collectors just
yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, because there's a lot of
get it. Shit.
Oh, well, hopefully they allowed some to hit the public. But Miguel, I got to be like you. I don't think anyone was at Walmart like 6 a.m. Open, open, open. I need
Yeah.
to run to the card section. Nah, I don't think that was going on. These are all the guys email in and go, yeah, I'll take 5 boxes. Yeah, I'll take 5 boxes. Yeah, I'll take. And they're like, fuck, they're gone. But these dudes are just gonna open them up and start selling them on the secondary market.
Do you think they'll be in the stores? Because I didn't even think about stores. I'm so used to online stuff, and the fact that it sold out within 1 minute is I'm under the impression they did it online. But like, if I were to go to Walmart, I'm gonna try that tomorrow. I'm gonna
Try it because
Walmart, see what I find.
yes, they have a lot of card. They have a big card section too, and yes, I think that's what I was telling you guys last week. Is I think any Topps distributor probably would get a box from Topps, like, hey, we got this, put it on the shelf. Whatever you don't sell in a matter of months, box it, send it back to us, and then that kind of tells them where their market is for the boxing cards, right? And the guys that say, hey, we sold those cards were sold out in a few weeks, bam, they'll get another shipment, and then that's how they, find out where they can sell these things. So I do believe that they probably gave some cards to stores. That's what I was thinking. Now, when you say they sold out in a matter of time, who knows? Maybe when you go to Topps website, it says boxing cards only through online, then you'll know the majority of those went to probably private guys who are trying to they'll put those cards away and hope they have the next Muhammad Ali in there when they open it up years later, right? Because I don't think there's a Muhammad Ali sitting in that deck right now. I'm sorry. I don't know if even Floyd Mayweather would generate that type of money. A Floyd Mayweather Topps card, and I'll give you $2.
It's like, I'll give you $2 and like a pack of gum or something. As far as it goes, I ain't paying any more than that shit.
I'll give you the backup of the NBA.
Yeah. So I've had this fucking deck of cards here. This is not the starting lineup of these guys. But that certainly sucks. I certainly hope that we have another chance to do so and purchase them. And I left my email on there, so I would definitely highly recommend you do the same, Andrew, and toss in your email up in there. Hopefully they'll give you some sort of notification about it, which is kind of weird. It's kind of funny. Side story here. I bought these. It's a bit of a side story, but these old, I won't say old, they're new, but they're basically mini Super Nintendos and mini Sega Genesis and mini so forth that are supposed to be modern, so you can plug them into modern flat screens and stuff, because the old ones, there's like a lag and shit like that. Anyway, so they've been selling them recently. Well, I would say recently, like 2019, I think it was. And there's like preloaded games. There's one website that loaded all the games on there, right? We talked about it some time ago. Anyway, there was like a Sega Genesis one that had all the games on there that's been sold out for the longest time. And I put my email in like literally like a year ago, dude. And I'm just now getting the emails like, hey, we restocked them. It's like, oh shit, I had no idea they were going to restock them. So, hey, maybe we might get that email notification that there are some more of these top cards, or Topps, I should say. I keep calling them top, but it's Topps.
And tell the fans what was on that thing, because I'm telling you, dude, you pulled off one of the great
wow.
That game was not sold in America, bro.
Really?
I don't know
No
how many
shit.
times I gotta tell you that.
No kidding.
That game never made it here. And the fact that you have both of them on one thing, that's pretty fucking cool. Go tell them. I don't want to say it.
Well, I mean, there was 2 like Chavez games. There was a Riddick Bowe game. There was a fucking George Foreman game. I was like, what the fuck? I didn't know these guys had games. I was like, this is fucking killer. But yeah. And those are, dude, they're hard. They're fucking hard. I just fucked around with it. I'm like, God damn, I need to learn how to play these games because they're fucking hard. But yeah, that killer has a pretty dope as Super Nintendo's pretty badass.
I bought the kids one of those, the Sega one, but it doesn't have that game on it. It had all the Mortal Kombat stuff like that. Fucking little kids, they're like, these graphics suck, Dad. What's this? I was like, you know what? Get away. They're all used to the freaking PS5, right? They play. I think Sonic. They'll play Sonic. Sonic, it has enough graphics that it still gets by as playable. But yeah, more. And even I'm like, oh my god, are you serious right now? Like watching the graphics back then, I was like, oh, this is crazy.
Yeah. And it's got to be fast enough to keep their attention span, like seeing Sonic go back, oh shit, like you got to go fast. So it kind of keeps their attention a little bit longer. It just needed a little bit better graphics. But again, 32-bit, 16-bit back in the day. All right.
Where's my coffee?
Oh, already? No. So one of the other stories that we want to talk about. This is kind of a weird one. One, and I mentioned him earlier. One Andre Ward decided to go or take to social media to kind of throw out sort of a that something that he said he kind of would occasionally think about, but apparently he thinks he can call out. Well, he does, I should say, call out, but he thinks he can beat Anthony Joshua. According to this, he says, "Hey, you know what? For a nice amount of money, I'd come out of retirement. Yeah, it's been I don't know what 8 years or whatever how long it was, and apparently he's I don't know. He's convinced he can do this. I don't know. So that didn't sit well with Joshua himself. He's like, bro, really? Like, really? We're gonna go down this route? We're like, the heaviest you ever were was fucking 175. To do that, they were kind of going back and forth with one another on social media, and talking about, I guess, on Anthony Joshua's side, saying like, bro, really? Is that what you? Forget the fucking payday. You want to set your ego aside. If you want to throw down, we'll throw down. But of course, Andre was like, no. You fought for money. I fought for money too. I'd be down to, a nice payday to get something like this going. And Anthony Joshua, in like quotations in Canelo voice, says payday, right? So clearly, we know that's where Andre Ward is coming from. I don't know if he's. I mean, I don't know. Is this cherry picking, Andrew? Is this what it is? He sees he just got knocked the fuck out, or not just, but his most recent fight, losing to Daniel Dubois by knockout. Apparently, he thinks, and we kind of sort of talked about Crawford and Canelo and talking about Crawford's possible game plan. He's not the kind of guy that will move around and try to outbox him the way previous guys did with was it Leonard and Hagler, right? That was the primary example. Crawford is not the kind of guy to do that. However, Ward does move around. His defense is a lot better. Maybe he can pull it off. I don't know. Does it seem like just a money grab? He wants a nice big ass payday, or does he legitimately think he can beat Anthony Joshua?
If he's just coming out of retirement to fight Anthony Joshua, it's a money grab. And Andre has always had a problem marketing himself, and I think it hit him again in this call out for Anthony Joshua. What a boring call out it was, Or if I want to come out, and I don't know if I do. Most days I don't. Like, what?
I'm fine doing what I'm doing right now, but if I wanted to.
Yeah, it's like, dude, why even waste our time, right? Listen, Andre. He should have said, I want the heavyweight title. I think I can beat Usyk. But to beat Usyk, I want to start, top 10. I don't know, top 8. Maybe with Anthony Joshua. Yeah, that's a good. I will start with Joshua. If I beat Joshua, I want to go for the title. Now, if it's a money grab, you're lying your ass off. As soon as you beat Joshua, you say, "Hey, thanks everyone, made 20 million, run home." Right? But it gives us you have a vision, right? When you just say, "Oh, I think maybe if I did," I don't want to see that. So marketing himself has always been his worst, and I think it hit him again. If he wanted to go fight Usyk, let's go. It's a great comeback. You fight for the heavyweight title. Remember, he used to say the shit when he was a light heavyweight champ. He's seen it. He dreamed it. And I think Anthony Joshua was champ then. I believe he was. And maybe that's why he just has the little, I don't want to say hard on, but it's all the word that's coming to my pathetic head.
Like the half chubby that he's got to come
Sorry, yeah, that's all I got. But anyways, he gets excited for Joshua. I think it was something planted in his head a long time ago. But he went about selling the fight wrong. Instead, he should have acted like Joshua was a stepping stone. Piss him off a little. Then maybe you get a fight.
All right. Well, according to some of these tweets here, or at least they're going back and forth on social media, Joshua himself says, I sent, I don't know who one of these guys are, but Eddie Hearn, it says contact. I don't think he meant to say contract. He just forgot the R there. So he reached out to Eddie Hearn and was like, well, all right, Eddie, let's see if we can make it happen, right? Is the ball rolling on this really? Like, do you think he's just calling the bluff? Is he just saying like, well, I called Eddie, and then he's like, Eddie, I'm not really gonna send you a contract, but just pretend like I did, okay? Okay, cool. Just to call his motherfucker's bluff. Are we really going this direction?
Like I said, I think if he would have sold it in a different way, maybe his Turkey would have been interested in putting on the Andre Ward comeback. I got to tell you guys, though, I think we all know in boxing world, Andre wasn't that marketable. His market wasn't big.
No.
He didn't sell
As great
tickets.
as he was, 2 pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Was it 2 with Kovalev? That's it.
And I think freaking Jay-Z went out of business. Rock Nation went out of business because of the Andre Ward deal. You know
who else? Was it Juan Manuel Lopez or who the fuck
Miguel Cotto? Miguel Cotto.
Oh, Miguel Cotto. That's right.
Yeah.
Where's Ward from? Oh, he's from Oakland, right?
Oakland.
Okay, never mind. Because I was thinking like East Coast thinking. I was thinking East Coast thing because Jay-Z and stuff like that. I thought, but because you mentioned with Cotto, so I thought East Coast.
He had the other Prince James Prince. He had James Prince at least as a manager. Andre. Yeah.
I think that's exactly who's he talking about here on this tweet. This is the one that I was talking about. It says J Prince respect or something like that. I think that's like what the tag, the hashtag, or not the hashtag, but the name of the Instagram, his Instagram tag is the other one. So he tagged him also in addition to Eddie Hearn. That's the one that I didn't know. But anyway, yeah, so I do remember that. I remember Rock Nation actually going to shit because I thought I was tight when I saw that. I was like, oh fuck, that's pretty cool that Jay-Z is getting his toes wet in the boxing world and signing somebody like Ward. I thought, all right, well, this is a great fucking first start, and then everything went to shit. Did you know what went wrong with that deal? Do you know anything about the specifics of that?
They never sold tickets, bro. Like you paying it. I want to, he's making, don't hold me to the numbers, but upwards maybe of 15 million. I know Cotto was making that, and Cotto was already old as shit, dude. Like he had already been knocked out, beaten up. Like who is he selling these tickets to, and they just bad deals, just thinking every fight was going to generate Floyd-like pay-per-view money. It did not happen, especially with Andre. Those Kovalev fight was kind of a disaster on pay-per-view. So,
damn, really? I ordered both of those. I mean, that first decision, I don't think he won. I think Kovalev did take it. The second one,
right.
Ward himself feels okay about it, but regardless, I don't remember them being a disaster on pay-per-view. Were they? Were the numbers bad?
Yeah. Well, they weren't Jay-Z's.
No, I guess not.
Guaranteed money. You know what I mean? So even if they brought in 40 million, when you cut that in half and you do taxes and you give HBO their cut, they didn't make that much money. It looks good, that they generated that, but after it's all said and done and you pay freaking the fighter money that he didn't make back for the company, it hurts. So they needed a lot of money. They were big in the hole. Either way, I don't know if Andre generates that money for Anthony Joshua with this fight. This would be a total. If you go to the UK with this fight, I'm not convinced that they sell 80,000 seats. I know I come on here a lot and go, oh, they love seeing Americans fall. This is kind of just, and sorry, Andre, but on paper and the way that you sold the fight, it looks like a mismatch. It looks like a guy who's halfway's in and is looking for a payday, a quick payday, quick. My dream was to beat Anthony Joshua. Who's spending 10 grand to watch that?
Yeah, no, that's funny that you mentioned that because like you said it a lot how the English fans or the UK European fans love to see their guys beat the Americans. I don't think they give two shits about Andre Ward. like that's how little they give a fucking, like he's American on him.
And they would be like, he was a cool guy. Like the diehards will probably be like, nah, he was one of the good ones. He was always a good guy. No, I don't want to see him lose that. You know what I mean? It'll be shit like that, bro. Like, what? These ticket prices are outrageous. I ain't paying that. So
going down the rabbit hole of hypotheticals, do you think he would have been able to do it? Or if the fight, I mean, again, as of right now, we don't know the fight's not going to happen or is going to happen. But let's say it does happen. And mind you, this is the current Anthony Joshua, the one that last got knocked out by Daniel Dubois, and the retired for so many years Andre Ward. How does that look? Do you think he comes in and says, all right, yeah, I can test his chin, I can crack him, I can move around, I can win a decision? Or are we looking at fucking Anthony Joshua knocking out Ward the way Kovalev should have, I guess.
I've never bet against them. I don't think I would start with the Joshua fight just because I do believe Andre's fresher in ways than Anthony is physically, mentally. So I wouldn't bet against them. Andre's been undefeated, I think, since he was 14 years old. He's never lost a fight. I'm not betting against that.
Not even with like the time off. I mean, it's because I mean, activity is a big deal. Timing's a big deal, right? And that's one of the things that what's name says here. I think Anthony Joshua says,
we used to be in the same gym together, right? I'm not betting against them. Do you know what that means?
That you know stuff other people don't.
That's my boy. That's my fucking boy. He's gonna whoop his ass.
but Anthony Joshua says film study is very good, and watching clips on YouTube is very different from real life, according to what Anthony Joshua says.
Anthony Joshua, yeah, I'm not betting against him. The guy's been undefeated for fucking 30 years, man. He's beaten guys over 6 feet before in his amateur days, you know.
So, how would that go down? Decision? You think he has the kind of pop?
Oh yeah, it would
out of decision. All right.
No, it'd have to go decision. I think. Yeah, Andre's never had pop. I don't see that changing at heavyweight. To be honest with you, this is just Andre being hell of Terrence Crawford right now, competitive, right? Because really, the easy payday is Jake Paul. Like, why is it all over Jake Paul's shit, man? Like, you're a user. You fucking use old MMA guys. You use old boxers. How dare you do that to Tyson? Slap his ass. I don't know. Get sued. I don't even fuck. You're going to get the fight. You know what I mean? Like, let's make it hot. You know what I'm saying? Like, Andre is the perfect guy that would give Jake Paul all the credibility that he needs to get him in whatever championship fight he wants to get into. It is the Andre Ward fight. Why Ward isn't pursuing that one just shows that he thinks Jake Paul's under him. You know that, and he's going for the bigger challenge, and that's just who Ward is, you know. But man, I would way rather see him call out a significant call out to Jake Paul because they're almost the same weight. It's the guys Jake's been fighting, right? Retired ex-fighters. And still young enough to put big hands on them. So I don't know why Andre's going. I know why he's doing it.
Could it be Jake Paul? Could it be him? Like, no, I'm not interested. Like, I'm not trying to make this fight happen. You know,
force it.
Well, how can he do that?
Go to all of his press conferences. No.
You mean market himself the way he can't do for shit?
The way he can't. Well, I'm trying to give him pointers right now. Hello, but no, dude.
Because we know you're watching. Ward, we know you're watching. If the top guys were watching, you're watching. Okay,
that's what I'm telling you. Hey, do an interview like you did with Anthony Joshua. That one went viral. You think if he called him out for being a pussy, they say the guy's all show. Go for the lawsuit. They said they're gonna sue whoever says he has fixed fights. Start off with that.
Yeah.
See if Jake Paul responds, and then call him out. Make Jake Paul say no live. Right? Bring the cameras. Telling you, man, don't. I might catch a charge, but my guy's gonna get the fight. You know what I'm saying? Just give me the best lawyer, bro. It's only gonna be an assault. I'll do that standing on my head. Fuck that. Don't get that fight. I'll be inside like, this is my fight. This is my fight.
Yeah. You'll be like on the phone, like, hold on, I'm on the phone. People behind you waiting in line, like, no, hold on. Mom, are you watching this?
Mama, I'm coming home.
I know. What is it? What's that? That one chick on that? There's like a viral Vine where she's getting arrested. That black chick, and she's like, "Mom, holding it down." That shit. Like, Mama, I love you. Holding it down. Oh Lord. Well, that leads us to one of our filler stories. This is kind of one of the funny things I thought about this, because it came up during the week. Was we were talking about this earlier on Sunday. Was it Jarrell Miller and his fight falling through with the real big baby, right? Jared Anderson. We call Miller steroid baby. Supposedly the fight was offered to Deontay Wilder, and Wilder turned it down. Of course, that's just all rumor, hearsay. And then ultimately it landed on the lap of one Michael Hunter, Bounty, I believe, the Bounty Hunter, I think is what they call him. And It looks like it was going to go down. They already switched the dates. It was still going to be here in Vegas, if I'm not mistaken, but it wasn't going to be on the undercard of Crawford Canelo anymore. It was going to be now its own thing leading up to this like 3-day weekend Riyadh season type of thing. Well, we talk about Bob Arum all the time. We tend to forget another 90 some odd old 93-year-old Don King decided to step up and speak up, I should say. Let me go ahead and read this Instagram post here. 93-year-old Don King has issued a cease and desist to TKO and Sela over the September 11th Michael Hunter versus Jarrell Steroid Baby Miller fight. It doesn't say Thurman. I just want to throw it in. Claiming he holds exclusive promotional rights to Hunter. So Don King decided to cock block here. Pretty much is what he's doing at this point. He's not going to allow his fighter that he has contractual rights over to just go out and make some fucking money without him getting some sort of piece of the pie, which I assume I thought he was going to get anyway, but who the fuck knows at this point. It looks like he's going to cock block hard and make sure this fight doesn't happen, unless, of course, I'm sure he's involved to some degree. But so much for that. I don't know what's going to happen now as far as the fight with Jarrell Miller, who possible next opponent is going to be. I mean, as of right now, we don't even know if Hunter is out of the equation yet. Maybe there's still a part of the equation, but there's still some negotiations to take place. But kind of no, you think he's gone? I was gonna hand it over to you, Andrew. What do you think?
Nah. You think Don King wants a piece of 125,000? You think Don King wants a piece of 50 grand?
He's not exactly a top promoter anymore. Anything would be welcome, no?
You see him still putting on his own pay-per-views. Now, listen, I don't know what the hell these things do as far as money-wise, right? But he's not taking that bullshit pay scale that TKO is putting out there, bro. If he this is what I mean, you guys, about we need to figure out, is TKO signing baby Steroid Miller to a lengthy contract, or are they signing him for one fight? Because seriously, Jamal Miller, Jamal.
No. Jarrell.
Nah, we probably both Jarrell. All right, whatever. We'll go with that one. Jarrell Miller is worth more, in my opinion. He's in a bigger market than what the fuck TKO is putting out there. Like, this guy's a fight away from a heavyweight eliminator and then a championship. That's him. He's in the mix. Why would you commit yourself to something so low, right? I gotta believe that these are not fights that they're putting under that TKO model, and that this is just them acting like boxing.
But that's exactly what you said was going to happen. They're not really going to be promoting Crawford Canelo. It's just going to be a TKO undercard. That's exactly what it is. No, I mean,
well, it is. But I need to know. That's why Don King is saying no, dude. If he only freaking can sell this kid, if he only gets 10% of this kid's purse, and you're telling me he's not a champion, so what is he going to make on the TKO roster? Is it 50 grand or 100 grand?
Yeah, I don't remember the pay scale.
It's like 50 grand, right? It was really low, bro, because like the champion makes, was it 700,000?
Yeah, 750, yeah, something like that, yeah.
750? 125,000, I think it was, for the fighters then. For if you just, bro, I mean, you haven't even taken taxes out. You haven't even paid your fucking corner. Don King, no. He can take this. He could call probably the Chinese or Japan mafia underworld and be like, "Yeah, I got Michael Hunter. Yeah, bring him over here. We'll give you 200,000." They probably work deals like that still. He's old school boxing guy, right? I gotta think that's why it has something to do with Don King not wanting to give up the power and seeing that there is no future with Hunter with TKO. For him, there might be a future. If you don't have a promoter and you're just a fighter with a bag walking in, yeah, you have a future at TKO. They're giving good checks. If you're the guy who is a janitor by day, boxer by night.
The guy bringing in the carts at Costco. That guy.
Hey, let's keep it real, man.
Mm.
So, but if you're looking to push a fucking Ferrari in this sport, TKO, please.
So Don King's like, yeah, let's not do this. Let's go ahead and leave it. Leave my fighter's name out your motherfucking mouth.
That's bro. Look up Hunter's record. It's not bad.
No, it's not bad at all.
He's one fight away from getting that phone call, right? Because he's got a padded record and somewhat of a name. Remember, you went 12 rounds with Usyk. The fuck you mean you're signing for 50? Oh, Don's smart. I'm telling you, Fernando Vargas Sr. better have been smart when he signed that TKO deal. There better not be no small print on that bitch.
Yeah, I certainly hope not. Let me see. 17, where is he at here? 24-1 is Michael Hunter's record, with that one coming at the hands of one Alexander Usyk. He does have 2 draws, one to Povetkin and one to this guy Jerry Forrest, as recent as 2021.
And he beat Povetkin, right? I bet you that was where's that fight at Povetkin? Does it say where it was at?
Yeah, give me Saudi Arabia.
Wow.
It said
seen it. We had it was maybe an undercard that I didn't watch. You know what? Povetkin, that name that does sound familiar that we did cover that. We're just forgetting about because that does sound familiar. Remember, he was hella old. I want to say he should have lost that fight. But yeah, either way, that's a decent name. Povetkin has a draw. Usyk he was 12 with. He's 24-1. Fuck no, you're not capping yourself. Sorry. We're one fight away from getting 2-3 million. Nah, peace. That's Don. Don still making right.
You don't think? All right. So I mean, I get what you're saying as far as the possible low end of the pay scale for this fight. But if he's going to come in kind of on short notice, we're talking about a month. Wouldn't they have, in order for, like, how can I explain it? In order for him to have taken the fight, wouldn't the payday have to be significant? Be like, oh shit, it's a risk. I'm taking a risk on short notice. Give me a fucking major payday. Wouldn't that have been a payday? I mean, a big one?
From what I was told, TKO is signing guys to do their little pay scale. They're going to fight, then they're going to be champions. I don't even know if there was a defense one. Yeah, I think you're 750 from there on out, right? So every time you defend the title, you're making 750 because you're the champ. Are they giving extra fights? I don't know. I heard they only got 10 million for the year.
Right.
That's not a lot of money. You know what I mean? You're not giving $1 million in one fight if you only have 10 for the year. So I got to think that it's just for this pay scale that they made, and a bonus night, knockout bonus, all those things. So maybe this is what I mean about the guy that has no team. This is a great opportunity for them. The guy that's at the gym that if I just had my shot, I show the world. This is the right place for you. The guy that has someone investing in you not to work, to go run your 12 miles because they know you're going to be the champ, I can guarantee you TKO is not for you. That's it.
Fair enough. So Don King decided to speak up, and it doesn't look like we're going to get Steroid Baby and Michael Hunter on the 11th of September. So we'll see who else gets to step in and what kind of money they're willing to offer that person. Maybe they'll go back to fucking Deontay Wilder at this point. I don't know. All right. Well, I got one more for you. This is a breaking story before I let you go, because I know we're short on time here.
Yes, sir.
Breaking story. Verbal agreement, so nothing major. Verbal agreement in place for Sebastian Fundora to defend his WBC 154-pound championship against Keith Thurman on October 18th in Las Vegas. So much for Thurman and Virgil Ortiz Jr. It looks like now aging, out for a couple of years, coming back, beats Brock Jarvis. Keith Thurman gets himself a WBC title shot against Fundora, probably the top dog at 154. But man, I thought we were gonna get, and again, I'm not that I'm complaining necessarily, because again, I've asked this question before: how the fuck does Thurman just find his way in these damn fights? But go ahead, what do you think?
Al Heyman owes him money, so that we know that PBC, that's the connection why he's getting Fundora. But did we break the news that Ortiz and Virgil signed?
Huh? Wait.
They
Ortiz,
signed.
wait. You said Virgil. You said Ortiz and Virgil. We're the same guy.
Oh, I'm sorry. Ortiz and Boots. Ennis.
Oh no. Well.
They're
We
signed.
talked about it before. Then we talked about it not being a thing because
No, it came out again. I seen it like yesterday.
But it was recent though. It wasn't like a post from a few days ago or anything like that. When you read it, when you last read it.
I'm gonna say no. I think they signed, and maybe that's why Ennis pulls out of the Thurman fight. Doesn't need a big fight now. Now he just needs to stay active. His big fight is in January, February against Boots Ennis. Look it up real fast. That'll be the last thing we do. Just look it up. See if it got signed. But I want to say they have announced that fight has been made. I don't know if Boots had another option, man.
Wait, hold on. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay. Versus Journal. All right, cool. So let's take a look here. Well, I mean, everything. It's. Excuse me. The only thing that I'm showing is from 4 days ago, but that was when we were doing the show? No, I mean that's the only thing. Yeah, I don't know. But it's the same thing that you said, right? Riyadh season 2026.
I think it's a good sign that Thurman isn't fighting Ortiz. I think that's a good sign. That means because we really didn't want that fight. So Ortiz is going in another direction. Let's hope that it's a Boot Ennis is in the future of that, but he's going in another direction.
Did you see the interview where like Virgil Ortiz was asked about some of his future opponents or the way if it was his choice how he would have it? He named Charlo as one of them. And I'm assuming he meant the 154-pound Charlo. So do you think there's a possibility that Charlo's coming back to fight him instead? Because the only thing I'm showing here is from 4 or 5 days ago from Ortiz and Ennis, the news ran, which, hey, may still be up to date because it only was a few days ago and I haven't seen anything before then. But I don't know. I'm not trying to throw hate over here on fucking Thurman, but man, this dude goes from fighting an interim champion in Virgil Ortiz to the man of the weight division in Sebastian Fundora. It's not going to go well for him, I don't think, but hey, he got himself another nice payday, and like you said, it looks like Al Heyman owes him some money and owes him a favor probably too. So he's like, yeah, okay, yeah, Golden Boy, these people, yeah, season, yeah, they probably take some money. I'll give you more over here. Let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah, no doubt. It's a good fight. It's a good fight for Fundora. Hopefully he can take out Keith Thurman and another PBC guy under his belt. He's in a good place right now. Fundora's in a good place.
Yeah. All right. Well, interesting way to end the show. Anything you would like to add before we call it a show, Andrew?
No, I can smell my dinner, bro.
Oh, by the way, this weekend, who did we say it was going to be? Moses. I cannot pronounce the last name against Dillian White.
Mutaya.
Yeah, I'm bad at pronouncing last names, which is ironic because my last name is long as fucking.
And Dillian White.
Yes, our good buddy Dillian White been fucked by the BBC more times than you can count. So he's back on one of his, I guess, farewell tours because he's on the way out as well. But hey, you know what? This Saturday morning, we got some fights because August is a pretty slow month, but some fights are some fights, right? So boom, we got some fights Saturday morning. And that pretty much does it. So to go ahead and wrap this up, for my co-host, Andrew, don't get it twisted, Lapache, I am Miguel Antonio Barragan, a.k.a. Fight Fiend Migs, and this has been Mad Boxing Show. We will see you guys next week. Take care. Peace.